Done.
Great. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the grand finale of the India track of the FundaesLiga Quiz League Season 8. We have here our four competitors, Achyuth Sanjay, Aswath Venkatraman, Dhruv Mukherjee, and Subrat Mohanty, and I'm Abhinav Dasgupta, your reader for the evening. So, without further ado, we will start proceedings, but before that, a few other things that we got to do here. Let's start first by acknowledging all the question writers who've contributed all of these questions over the last 8 game weeks and, of course, the Tier 1 final. They are in no particular order: Nikhil Sonde, Keshava Guha, Anantita Nath, Subhakrishna, Vibhendu Tiwari, Arjya Priyo Ganguly, Tanmay Roy, Rokos Vensuraj, Rush Mukherjee, Rajan Thambehali, Sresht Shah, Nitish Khadia, Mark Cheong, Risum Pal, Avinash Matthews, Morvin Miranda, Akul Gurtu, and yours truly, Abhinav Dasgupta. That's 18 people having contributed questions to FLQL. That's probably our highest set of, largest set of contributors ever. So thank you all. Thank you to my fellow question writers for all the great questions that all of you played, and some more of which you'll get to play. But the other sort of lifeblood of FLQL, as it is for all leagues that we play, are the readers. Readers are the reason these leagues work as well as they do. For me, this season, it's only the third match I'm reading, so I hardly deserve to be in that Hall of Fame. But here are the people who have read the maximum number of games this season on FLQL. And the interesting thing is that the person who's at number one is like almost is more than 2.5x the person who's at 2. So at number one, having read a whooping 128 games this season, in other words, having dedicated more than 5 complete days of his life to the league, is Ankit Bisht, 128 games read, incredible. Followed by Deepam Malakar, who's read 50 games, Rahul Preman on 36, Abhijit Bhadran and Shrotam, who've both read 32 games, Harit Jain, who's read 27, Rutvik Mahajan, 26, Rupi Modi, 23, Ushri Biswas, 23 as well, Tanmay Roy, who makes both the honor rolls with 21 games read, and then Shayak Chaudhary, who's read 20 games this season. So well done, all of you. We wouldn't have got to these Tier 1 finals without all our readers. So thank you once again for all your hard work, for all the entertainment all of you have given us. And one more thing before we begin. Yesterday, the world of quizzing lost one of its stars in Sarah Trevathan. Sarah Trevathan was one of our greatest quizzers. Her story of winning the Brain of Britain while fighting cancer has to be one of the most inspiring quizzing stories ever. And Dhruv, I recall speaking with you about Sarah yesterday, particularly the Lob and Dunk League game, which she played while being in hospital, and this incredible story about how she still had both her hands on screen till the other player said, "Look, it's okay. You're in hospital. Just it's fine. You don't really need to show both your hands." And that's the kind of dedication, commitment, an incredible competitor, and one of the greatest assets of our sport. Sarah was actually associated with FLQL since its inception. She's played all seasons of the league, and in fact was part of the current season as well. I think for the first 4 or 5 game weeks, till of course she was too ill to continue. But Sarah Trevathan will be missed at FLQL in the world of quizzing, and to all those who knew her. So before we begin the game, could we have a few seconds of silence in memory of Sarah and in solidarity with all her loved ones and the prison. Thank you very much. And let us begin the grand finale of FLQL Season 8. To start with, we will randomize the players. And here we go. So, Ashwath, you're in seat 1, Dhruv in seat 2, Subrat in seat 3 and Achyuth in seat 4. Okay.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, all. And let me hopefully not need the answer key too much, but who knows? Might as well have that open. All right. Cool, let's go then. Aswath, question 1 coming your way. All right, this is the India set, of course. Aswath, question 1. In Inside Man 2006, a riddle goes, what weighs more, all the trains that pass through Grand Central in a day, or all the trees cut down in a year to print US currency? Why is it that the answer to the above riddle is they weigh the same? Just explain what this is all about. I need 2 explanations, essentially.
Okay. I'll say that probably the answer is 0 because no trains pass through Grand Central in a day and no trees are cut down to print US currency.
Why do no trains pass through Grand Central?
I think because it's a terminus, so
That is absolutely correct. That's the perfect answer there, Ashwath. Well done. No trains pass through Grand Central since it's a terminal, not just a station. And the US currency isn't printed on paper made from trees. So very good start there by Ashwath. Well done. You get on the board. Your next question should be up your alley. Indian cricket fans were in for a treat earlier this year with Rishabh Pant and Shubman Gill getting centuries in both innings in the first and second test matches against England respectively. Gill's epic 269 and 161 in the second test made him only the second batter to score over 150 runs in each innings of a test match. Which ICC Hall of Famer, who jointly names a trophy awarded for a bilateral test series, with, in fact, the person whose record for the highest career aggregate test runs he broke in 1993, was the first?
Border.
Alan Border is correct, who, of course, names the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Gavaskar used to hold the record 10,122 runs broken by Alan Border, 11,174, I think. Dhruv, here's your question. What is the titular profession of Krishna, who works at Albert Mission College and is the protagonist of R.K. Narayan's fourth novel? One of his most autobiographical works, it was dedicated to the memory of his wife, Raja.
Professor?
Prompt on that?
Teacher?
Prompt again. Okay, so two words that I'm looking for. Let me just be kind of.
Okay, I'll say English teacher.
That is absolutely right. English teacher. So yeah, teacher, professor, lecture equivalent gets you a prompt. So The English Teacher by R.K. Narayan is the book we were looking for, Krishna being the protagonist. Your next question, Dhruv. Naming of which radioactive chemical element not found in nature and bearing the atomic number 106 proved controversial first because its discovery was disputed between US and USSR, and then because of UPAC's reluctance behind naming an element for a living person. The scientific body finally yielded in 1995 and thus honored this discoverer of 10 transuranic elements.
Seaborgium?
Seaborgium is absolutely right, after Glenn Seaborg. Done. 1951 Nobel laureate. Subrat, your questions. Which traditional footwear is known for its distinctive curled toe and embellishments made popular by royalty? It derives from the Arabic for shoe or stocking.
Mojri.
Mojri is correct. Just checking whether Juti got you points as well. It did. I remember some years back I had answered Juti and someone didn't accept it because Mojari is the only correct answer I have, but we're kinder than that. So, good enough. Subrat, your next one. Yahudi Ki Ladki is a historic Urdu play by Agha Hashar Kashmiri that is centered on the theme of a disturbing historical event from the 2nd century CE, although broadly it's remained a mainstay struggle throughout ancient history and to this day. Owing to this theme, Prince Ezra loses his 7-year-old son Yamin after his catapult mistakenly hits a priest, and as a punishment, Yamin is thrown to hungry animals. What broad theme are we talking about that ended after the good Emperor Antoninus Pius revoked the edicts?
This is the persecution of Jews.
Yeah, that's good enough. Persecution of Jews largely during the Roman Empire, but like it says, it's been one of those struggles throughout history. Persecution of Jews, Yahudi is Jew, of course. So everyone's got everything correct. No pressure, Achyuth. Here are your questions. In 1948, when 28 undocumented Mexican workers were killed in a plane crash, the newspaper reports failed to mention any of their names. Instead, the victims were simply reported to as blank. This word became the title of a Woody Guthrie song. Since the victims were nameless, Guthrie assigned them symbolic names such as Juan, Rosalita, Jesus, and Maria. The lyrics read, "Is this the best way we can grow our big orchards? Is this the best way we can grow our good fruit? To fall like dry leaves to rot on my topsoil and be called by no name except blank." Either fill in the blanks or provide us the alternative 5-word title of the song. Okay, need an answer, Achyuth? Sorry?
Fruit.
No. Aswath?
Pass.
Dhruv?
Pass.
And Subrat?
No, pass.
Okay, that passed everyone. This is just
Is it banana?
deportees. So Mexican workers, deportees, or the song is called Plane Wreck at Los Gatos. Cats. Okay, your next one, Achyuth. Which former French Indian town in the state of West Bengal is best known today for its Jagadhatri Puja taking place shortly after Diwali, which locals often claim to rival the more well-known Durga Puja festival in neighboring Kolkata? I disagree. The town was formerly known as Farajdana, colloquial Bangla for land of the French.
Chandanagar.
Yeah. Chandanagar is absolutely correct, or Chandanagar, as the French would put it. Chandanagar is a good answer. That's the end of round 1. Round 2, starting with Aswath. The naming of the actinoid elements with atomic numbers 95 to 97 paid tribute to the way the respective lanthanoid elements just above them in the periodic table were named. Since the corresponding lanthanoid for it was terbium, named for its town of discovery Italy, what name did Seaborg and his team suggest for the element with the atomic number 97 for the town where the university and lab were located?
Berkelium.
Berkelium, absolutely. This is Berkeley, the town we were looking for. And your next question. Truly against the spirit of St. Louis, on March 1, 1932, whose 20-month-old son was murdered after being abducted from his crib in East Amwell, United States?
Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh, absolutely right. Dhruv. The Athletic recently published a list titled F1 at 75, which featured 8 important figures from across the 8 decades of the F1 World Championship. 1950s was represented by which legend, who amongst his many achievements raced for Alfa Romeo in the 1920s? The team that he founded holds the record for the most constructor titles as well as most driver titles. Seconds.
5 Fangio.
Subrat?
Ferrari.
Ferrari is absolutely correct. Enzo Ferrari is who we were for. Good answer there. Dhruv, your next one. This term, used today in its metaphorical sense, actually goes back to 1938 when it was applied to sailors. They'd get irritated all the time as the constant exposure to sea breeze converted them into the word's literal sense. Therefore, in its most metaphorical and literal sense, sailors were blank all the time. What term? Just need a one word. Seconds.
Seasick.
Not seasick. Achyuth.
Salty?
Salty is correct. Yes. So that's a metaphorical term for irritated, right? So get irritated all the time. So be salty. So good one there, Achyuth. Two good steals. Subrat. This tattoo is not of the ornamental red garden variety or the golden California variety. This variety is native to Turkey and has large bluish purple or white flowers. Its cemetery gravestone symbolism from the West associates it with eternal sleep. And for ancient Greeks, it was the same association and one of forgetfulness. So, what tattoo motif is this?
Lotus eaters.
Not the lotus. Aswath,
Pass.
Dhruv,
Pass.
and Achyuth.
Pass.
Past everyone. Yeah, any
Orchid.
non-com?
Orchids.
Not orchid, but if I tell you that you do see it a lot in cemeteries, they're right about it, but not just any cemetery, largely in war graves.
Poppy.
That is right.
I was thinking poppy to begin with.
Opioid and so on, put you to sleep.
But I've just gone with poppy.
Poppy. And your next one, Subrat. Among cricketers to have scored centuries in both innings of a test match, which ICC Hall of Famer was the only one to have remained not out in both innings? Nicknamed Mad Max early in his career for his tendency to get out to rash shots, this batting all-rounder went on to become one of the only 4 cricketers to have been adjudged player of the match in both the semi-final and final of a 50-over World Cup.
Aravinda De Silva.
Aravinda De Silva is correct. 1996 semi-final against India, final against Australia, man of the match. One of the greatest number 4s in the history of the game. All right, Achyuth. This generation or age group is also a buzzword that countless news items have accused of killing everything from marriages to napkins. Although heard more often than ever nowadays, the term or label was actually invented by co-authors Neil Howe and William Strauss in their 1991 book, Generations. What term?
Gen Z?
Not Gen Z, Aswath.
Gen X.
Not Gen X either, Dhruv.
Pass.
Subrat.
Millennials.
That is right. Not Gen Z, not Gen X. Not too much to go then. Millennial is right. Subrat calmly picking that up there. And Achyuth, your next one. Peter de Vries's Die Ontvoering van Blank, 1987, recounts one of the most sensational kidnappings in Dutch history, told from the perspective of one of the perpetrators, Cor van Hout. Along with Willem Holleder, Frans Meyer, and Jan Bollard, he secured a ransom of 35 million guilders, which is around 18 million USD, on November 30, 1983. The victim once quipped, "There's always something happening around a beer." Who's this? Fill in the blank.
Heineken.
Heineken is correct.
Oh,
Dutch, and you have beer. Heineken. That's 2 rounds in. 4, 2, 5, 3. Still one's game, of course. Aswath, round 3. This is a worm's eye view of which architectural marvel? Take a good look. Start the timer.
Mm,
5 seconds.
the Guggenheim in Bilbao.
Not the
Guggenheim.
Bilbao Guggenheim. Nice guess. Dhruv,
Pass.
Achyuth,
Pass.
and Subrat.
No, I won't risk. Pass.
Okay. What did you have, Subrat?
Is it La Sagrada Familia?
No. So if you look at the top, it's kind of triangular. Does that remind you of something? It's the Burj Al Arab.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, in the way. It's the Burj. And your next one, Aswath. In the athletics F1 at 75, the 1980s were represented by which British administrator who was the driving force behind the first Concord agreements in 1981? Son of a politician who was the head of the British Union of Fascists, he ventured into administration after driving and running the March F1.
McLaren.
Not McLaren, Dhruv,
Pass.
Achyuth,
Pass.
and Subrat.
I'll go with last name Mosley.
Yeah, last name Mosley is absolutely
Because
correct.
that is
This is
Oswald
Max
Mosley.
Mosley. That's
Oswald.
right. He was the son of Sir Oswald Mosley, who was the head of the British Union of Fascists.
Nice.
Max Mosley, of course, famously went to Ratzenberger's funeral instead of Ayrton Senna's, saying, look, the whole world will be at Senna's funeral. It's Ratzenberger that deserves to be celebrated equally. The funeral he went to. Max Mosley passed away last year, was it, or a year before? Quite a well-known figure in F1. Dhruv, computers may not be banned in India, but that did not stop Himalaya Wellness from naming a range of products designed to enhance memory and cognitive function after the profession of fictional characters like Peter de Vries, Thufir Hawat, or even Paul Atreides. So what is this range of products called?
Mentat.
What an answer! Dhruv clearly sort of leveraging whatever mentat he's had. Hopefully you don't look like that after too much of it. But biocomputers and so on. But that's what mentat is. Don't know if I should recommend that, but it's
Yeah,
very sad.
I need to start taking it.
Right, well done there. Good answer. All right, your next one. Carnival games can be unfair to the player based on how they are set up, quite often like mimic quizzes. One popular game involves the player attempting to topple a pyramid of milk bottles. The game can be made difficult by weighing down bottles at the bottom row, increasing what physical property as defined in Newton's Principia?
Inertia.
Inertia. Absolutely.
I
right.
only know this through many smashes where I see physical property and answer is inertia.
Okay. Subrat. The naming of which actinoid element with atomic number 98 had to bug the convention to name it for the respective lanthanoid, since the corresponding dysprosium meant hard to get at, and instead decided to name it for the university and the state where the new element was synthesized. Its discoverers even quipped that the state would have been hard to get at for the searchers who would have rushed there almost a century before looking for another element with the atomic number 79.
California.
Yes, after all that, Californium is correct. So it
Too many
Berkeley
clues.
and California, and end of this was Gold Rush AU 79. All right, your next one. A prominent example of literary tourism based on a fraudulent premise is which structure in Verona, a popular selfie location. Apart from the fact that the building itself has no documented connection to the literary work, the structure in question was only added in the 1970s, while the work is from the 1590s. Your answer needs at least 2 keywords.
The balcony of Juliet in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, absolutely. Juliet's balcony. This is what it looks like in Verona. Good one there. Achyuth, your questions. Moruchi Mavshi is a Marathi play by Prahlad Keshavatre based on the English play Charlie's Aunt by Brandon Thomas. It's about 3 friends, Moru, Bhaiya and Bandya. Play starts in the post-independence era of India when different than pre-existing sansthans or establishments in India were being demolished. So what were these sansthans in question?
Brothels.
Brothels, Dhruv,
Pass.
Aswath,
Pass.
and Subrat.
I'm not getting any. Okay, pass.
Brothels is inadvertently close, but yeah, the princely states of India is what
That way of Sansthan, is it?
those were the sansthans.
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, Achyuth, you're next. This is a worm's eye view of which record holding work in progress.
This is the Sagrada Familia.
Oh, sorry.
Sagrada Familia.
Yeah, that's
Sagrada
correct.
Familia.
Sagrada Familia, record holding work in progress. Progress forever. Largest unfinished Catholic church in the world. Yes.
Finishing
well done.
soon, I think, next few years.
Yeah.
Finishing in 27.
Yeah.
After GTA 6.
But actually, it
GTA
is
6.
like the Ejipura flyover in Bangalore, which will take
That-
over this.
That
Oh, yeah,
only
that
Trump,
too.
that only
Yeah.
Trump can do.
Also the Calcutta Metro.
Oh,
All right, so 4-4-8-4, 3 rounds in, and Aswath, here's your first question from round 4. Based on the author's own experiences at Elphinstone College, The Education of Yuri 2022 is an account of student life in 1980s Bombay by which writer? His eclectic output includes poetry, translations, and biographies of the actresses Helen and Leela Naidu, as well as the crime novel Murder in Mahim.
Mystery.
Not mystery. Dhruv,
pass.
Achyuth,
Pass.
and Subrat.
Jerry Pinto.
Jerry Pinto is absolutely correct. Helen was the H bomb. That was the biography. Also known for books like M and the Big Whom,
Very good
Murder in
book.
Mahim.
Very good book.
It's Jerry Pinto.
M and the Big Who.
And your next one, Ashwath. Pula chappals from Himachal are colorful woven traditional footwear worn to battle the cold during winter months. Polad's color, but which botanical ingredient abundant in the region are they woven from? Seconds.
Pine leaves.
Not pine leaves, Dhruv.
Hemp.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Isn't
No. Achyuth,
Sorry, what did Dhruv say?
hemp.
hemp.
Okay, pass.
And Subrat,
Pass.
I did the right action. It's cannabis. I did the right action, but said the wrong word.
that is right, Dhruv.
Yeah.
Wait,
hemp-
hold on.
hemp is
Wait,
correct,
hold on,
right? Yeah.
hold on, hold on.
Hemp
Yes,
is
you're in luck.
basically.
Thank goodness.
You are in luck. Let me see. I can undo this.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you're in luck.
Well
Hemp
done.
is acceptable, in fact. Yes, Dhruv knows his botanical products.
Strong knowledge, botanical knowledge.
Done. And your next one.
A little bit of Mentat but yeah.
12-17-12 is a song by the Decembrists that pays tribute to a group of very unfortunate people. Instead of going by the actual date of the event, the Decembrists went with the date 3 days later when a world leader gave a speech on that matter on that event. So which incident or event does it pay tribute? Seconds. Any tell to
Oh, sorry, it's my direct. Oh, I'll just say Pitlu.
Achyuth,
Pass.
Aswath,
This is the Romanovs, the assassination of the Romanovs.
not the Romanovs, no. Subrat,
No, pass.
Subrat passes as well. This is the Sandy Hook school shooting,
Oh,
which
sort of
took
the
place on
century.
14 December. Then there was a Barack Obama speech on that.
Yeah, okay.
Is the date that somebody has picked up.
Hmm.
And your next one, Dhruv. Rishabh Pant recently became the second designated wicketkeeper to score a century in each innings of a test. Which ICC Hall of Famer, the only one from his country, was the first? Seconds.
Kumara Sangakkara.
Not Sangakkara. Achyuth,
Pass.
Aswath.
Flower.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to ask you which one.
Andy.
I'll give it to you anyway. Andy Flower is absolutely right. Andy Flower is the only Zimbabwean in the ICC Cricket Hall of Fame. Incredible player. And only first designated wicketkeeper to score a century in each innings. Rishabh Pant was the second. And Subrat, your question now. This is a worm's eye view of which structure?
Hmm. Okay, I'll say Louvre.
And you'd be right.
Okay.
That is what that pyramid looks like. Worm's eye view. Great answer there. Louvre Museum, Paris takes Subrat onto double figures. And your next one. In a 2018 essay, writer A said that writer B's work would have had greater richness had it been written not in English, but rather in the West Delhi Hindi that was our dialect of choice in the hostel. Both came to prominence in the 2000s with debut novels inspired by their shared hostel years at IIT Delhi. Although, to quote writer A once again, we're not even in the same game, so we need to name both the writers. Seconds.
Chetan Bhagat and Ashwin Sagi.
Not Sanghi and Bhagat. Achyuth
Bagchi and Bhagat.
is the perfect answer. This is Amitabh Bagchi and Chetan Bhagat.
Good answer.
Well done. Very, very nice there.
Lovely.
And your direct's coming up, Achyuth. The public-private partnership initiated by the US government to accelerate the development and launch of COVID-19 vaccines was named for which concept? Originally from Star Trek, but now used in many sci-fi universes to convey the supernormal rate at which things would need to move.
Warp speed.
Is perfect. Operation Warp Speed. There you go. Vaccine Select. Sure, there's both warp and speed out here. Person who's speaking. But back to Achyuth. Carnival games can be unfair to the player based on how they're set up. You already know that. Carnival basketball games, where one has to score enough times to win a prize, can be rigged by moving the hoop higher than what regulation height in feet? You can answer in meters too.
trying to estimate. 12 feet.
12, Dhruv.
10 feet.
10 feet is correct. I think Achyuth was trying to generally measure how high it would be and so on. It's quite interesting. But yeah, 10 feet is correct. 3.048 meter doesn't quite have a actinium ring bit. So that's half the game. Subrat has a bit of a healthy lead on 10. Dhruv and Achyuth on 6. Aswath 5. And here's the second half coming. This popular tattoo, Aswath, has not only come to represent love and friendship, but also immortality. The Greeks used it to cool the brow and balance the heating power of wine. The Egyptians associated it with Osiris resurrected from the dead. Its circuitous and wandering path allowed medieval Christians to symbolize eternal life. They're either made in lustrous shades of green or black work, both with a distinctive 5-pointed leaf. What tattoo motif is this?
Grass.
Not grass, Dhruv.
Non-comp.
Achyuth
Pass.
and Subrat.
I'll take a non-con, not feeling confident.
Okay, take your non-coms.
Infinity?
Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus.
This is just ivy.
Oh,
The ivy.
oh,
So
okay.
circuitous and winding path and so on, wandering path. That's to ivy. Your next one coming up, Aswath. Surrounded by the state of Andhra Pradesh, but part of the Union Territory of Puducherry, which former French Indian town is known today for what is colloquially called Telugu, blend of French and Telugu or Andhra cultural traditions. Like most other French Indian towns, this town too was under British rule intermittently before finally being restored to France after the Napoleonic Wars in 18.
Yanam.
Yanam is absolutely right. Good answer. And Dhruv. In National Treasure 2004, a riddle goes, the vision to see the treasured past comes as the timely shadow crosses in front of the house of Parsonstow. Riddle me this to answer what exactly is the house of Parsonstow, or what is the next clue or entity that's generally contained within the house of Parsonstow. Don't pass this, don't stow it either. So that's it. Either is fine. Seconds.
I'll say eclipse.
Not an eclipse. Achyuth.
Liberty Bell?
What an answer. Liberty Bell. Yes.
Wow.
The next clue in the Independence Hall is the Liberty Bell, which was struck by John Pass and John Stow. And of
Oh,
course,
that
House of
way.
Parsonstow.
Okay.
I remember the scene from the movie.
Mm.
What a brilliant answer there.
I was thinking, what is pass and stow? Okay, that way.
Worthy tier 1 answer there. Tier 1 final. And Dhruv, your question. The GR70 is a 276 kilometers long hiking trail in southern France that follows the route taken by Robert Louis Stevenson as recounted in his book Travels with a Blank in the Cevennes. A handful of hikers choose to go full Stevenson and travel accompanied by what animal, which also fills the blank? Animal welfare groups have criticized the practice of using these animals to shuttle tourists up the cliffs of Santorini. Sorry, could you repeat?
MPD?
Can't hear.
Sorry, can't hear you too well. Just speak into the mic if you don't mind.
He's writing.
Oh, mule. Okay. Achyuth.
Pass.
Aswath. Passing you.
I said donkey.
Oh, you'd be right. Donkey is correct. If you've been to Santorini, that's those circuitous cliffs that you ride donkeys on.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better. This is better. Thank you.
At least I couldn't hear Aswath also.
I couldn't hear Aswath either, actually. So
I think my connection dropped for
bit
just
of a freeze for some time, but donkey is absolutely right. Good answer there. Ashwath on the steal. Subrat, your questions. Linkin Park wrote the 2007 song The Little Things Give You Away after they visited the Big Easy City. The heart-wrenching ballad was the biggest statement LP ever made, and its lyrics read, Hope decades, generations disappear, washed away as nation simply stares. What was the ballad written in response to?
Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane Katrina is absolutely right. Subrat, well done. Your next one, the second most populated town in the Indian Union Territory of Puducherry, which former French Indian town was first promised to the French in the 1730s by Sayaji, the exiled Raja of Tanjore, in exchange for French assistance, but came under French control only in 1817 after changing hands between the British and the French a few times. Today, this beach town is known for both the temple dedicated to the Bhakti saint and poetess Ammayar, as well as the Indo-Saracenic Grand Mosque. So, nice bit of ecumenism there. Which town?
One of the two. So, okay, I'll go with the less one. So I'll say Karaikal.
And you'd be right. Karaikal is absolutely right. That's the Ammayar temple.
So you do 1 second. I just need to let my dog out of the room. 1 second, please.
Yeah. I don't know, what's that contraption Dhruv has over there?
Some kind of headphone.
Or is that just the chair?
Yeah.
All right. Achyuth, your questions. Since they devoured and trampled their crops along the Nile, ancient Egyptians saw them as a force of destruction and followers of Set, the god of chaos. They hunted it with harpoons from their boats. Eventually, owing to their big rounded bellies, they got a positive connotation with fertility and childbirth, thus became a very popular tattoo. What tattoo motif is this?
Hippopotamus.
Is correct. Hippopotamus. Very eclectic set from destruction to fertility and all that. Your next one. Traditionally worn by the Pashtuns and named after a city, and once appropriated by a British brand which caused backlash and prompted the company to give credit to its origins. Which semi-closed shoe consisting of two wide straps crossed and joined with the sole, with a heel strap and buckle, are we talking about?
Peshawari.
Is the perfect answer. Very nice. This is the Peshawari shoe, traditionally worn by the Pashtuns. Peshawari chappal. All right, 5 rounds in, round 6. Over to Aswath. Blank is a software suite that enables infrastructure as code. It eliminates the need for physical hardware configuration and/or interactive configuration rules, thus enabling near-instant communication over long distances, like its namesake, first used in Ursula Le Guin's novel Rockaman's World. What is the blanked out 7-letter? Seconds.
Network.
Not network. Dhruv.
Pass.
Achyuth.
Pass. Pass.
Subrat.
Pass.
Past everyone, this is the Ansible, so which you also see in the works of Orson Scott Card, Section U, Stanley Robinson of Martian Trilogy, and others. That's what an Ansible is. Ashwath, your next one. The word rose in popularity in 2018, seen in hashtags all around, and is also referred in Childish Gambino's Red Bone. Despite these modern iterations, the word's origin goes back 53 years to a 1962 New York Times article by William Melvin Kelly titled, If You Blank, You Dig It. It included a glossary of African American slang, and the word meant well-informed, up to date. The answer is not wizard, surely, but what term is this?
Rad.
Not Rad. Dhruv.
Woke.
Woke is absolutely right. Well informed, up to date. Woke. Done, Dhruv, and your directs coming up. Udubhanga, English Shattered Thighs, is a Sanskrit play by 2nd, 3rd century playwright Bhasha. The story, taken from a renowned Indian epic, tells the story of a character whose thighs were literally broken after his fight with his cousin from the opposite side. So, who does the play's title refer to?
Duryodhan and Bhim.
Give me one answer.
Duryodhan.
Duryodhan is correct. The one whose thighs were shattered, not the one who shattered them. And yes, Udubhanga is what happened there. Your next one. On December 8, 1963, who was kidnapped from room 417 at Harrah's Lake Tahoe at the age of 19? His father offered $1 million, but the kidnappers bizarrely settled for $240,000. Though the perpetrators were caught soon after, the mastermind was later deemed legally insane. One peculiar legacy of the event: the father, worried he'd run out of change while negotiating via payphones, carried 10 dimes on him for the rest of his life and was even buried with them. Kind of the reason why I do not espouse cash. But who is this? Surname's good enough. Give the son's name.
One of the Kennedys. Kennedy.
Kennedy, okay, no? Achyuth?
Getty.
Not Getty, good guess. Subrat?
No, pass.
And Aswath?
Rockefeller.
Not Rockefeller either, another very nice guess, but this is Frank Sinatra Jr.
Oh,
This is Frank
yeah.
Sinatra's son who was kidnapped, Lake Tahoe,
Interesting.
and Frank Sinatra was buried with 10 dimes in his pocket, it seems.
Good
Okay,
question.
Subrat. In the athletics F1 at 75, the 2020s were represented by which British engineer whose work greatly impacted the F1 fortunes of teams like Williams, McLaren, and most importantly, Red Bull Racing? Christian Horner, the Red Bull Racing head, once described him as the man who could see air, and his Red Bull Racing cars successfully adapted to the numerous design constraints introduced by FIA through the 2020s.
I forgot. Okay, pass.
Quick pass there, Dhruv.
Pass.
Achyuth.
Newey.
Lovely answer. This is Adrian
Wow.
Newey,
Yeah.
the mastermind engineer behind Red Bull. Adrian Newey. Super answer. Subrat, the Qualcomm Blank X Prize was to be awarded for developing a device that can diagnose patients better than or equal to a panel of both certified physicians. It had to weigh less than 5 pounds, be able to diagnose only 14 medical conditions, and record and stream only 5 vital signs, a far cry from its namesake from Star Trek. What is the blanked out 9-letter word? Seconds.
Miraculon.
No, Dhruv.
Pass.
Achyuth
Pass.
and Aswath.
Essential.
Not essential. This is the Qualcomm Tricorder Prize.
No.
So none of the teams met all requirements, but yeah, 3 teams got some money. This is the tricorder. See Spock there. Achyuth, your directs. In Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008, a riddle goes, follow the lines in the earth only gods can read, which lead to Orellana's cradle, guarded by the living dead. Riddle me this as to what entity that runs a combined length of 1300 kilometers and was made by removing the top layer of reddish-brown ferric oxide-coated pebbles. seconds.
Nazca lines.
Is correct. These are the Nazca lines. Well done. Famous scene, Indiana Jones flies over the Nazca lines. And a chance here to catch up if you get your direct. Number one on the New York Times' global list of 52 places to go in 2025 was blank blank's England, including sites in Winchester, Bath, and Southampton. Which author's name fills in the blanks? 2025 happens to be her 250th birth anniversary.
Jane Austen.
Jane Austen, 1775 to 1817. That's absolutely correct. Jane Austen. And Subrat and Achyuth now on 12 apiece. 8 owns out of 12. 2 rounds to go. It's going to be a fight to the finish. Aswath. The rock band Redbone, founded by Pat and Lolly Vegas, wanted to commemorate the Yaqui, Shoshone, and Mexican heritage in their art. Therefore, in memory of the massacre of the Lakota Sioux Indians by the US government in 1890, they wrote the 1973 single, We Were All Blank at blank blank. So we were all blank 1 at blank 1 blank 2. Fill in the blanks. Both the blanks.
Mexicans at Mexican Alamo.
Mexicans at Mexican Alamo. Dhruv.
Wounded and Wounded Knee.
Wounded. We were all wounded at Wounded Knee is the perfect answer.
This is really bizarre. How many times I predicted. Today I had a feeling. I wasn't sure about Custer's Last Stand and Wounded Knee. I get confused. So I did a little bit of reading up on these two just to get the years right.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic. This is exactly the beauty of this.
Today
game.
only.
Well done.
Today. You can check, I think, like probably around 5 in the evening or something.
That is fabulous. Who would have thought? And 1973 also, when Marlon Brando and Sakin Littlefeather, one of the things she was protesting was, in fact, the Wounded Knee massacre.
The guy's name was Spotted Elk, I think, the Native American.
Chief.
Yeah.
Great answer by Dhruv on the steel. Aswath, your next one. Although it later became the city's slaughterhouse district and is famous today for its food, which neighborhood of Rome has attracted literary tourists since the 19th century who come to see the graves of John Keats and Percy Shelley? They're buried at the non-Catholic cemetery, which also houses the graves of Antonio Gramsci and Via Camilleri. It's not my quad, by the way. Same.
Pass.
Passing to Dhruv.
Pass.
Subrat.
Not getting a pass.
And Achyuth.
Trastevere.
No, good one. This is Testaccio.
Ah,
That's where the cemetery is. Keats and Shelley. Here lies one whose name was written in water. Dhruv. Surrounded by the state of Kerala, but part of the Union Territory of Puducherry, which former French Indian town was first occupied by the French East India Company in 1724, and interestingly was restored twice by the British to the French in 2 separate treaties of Paris in 1763 and 1814. The town gets its name from the name of the local river in Malayalam, but some theories also attribute the origin to Bertrand François Blanc, Comte de la Bourdonnais, one of the early French military leaders to capture the town.
Mahe?
Mahe is correct. This, I think, is what Subrat was referring to when he said it's one of the two. This is the other one. Well done, Dhruv.
cheap liquor place in Kerala.
Okay, your next one. A GI tagged item from Maharashtra and Karnataka is known for its distinctive braids. Which fashion house recently debuted a collection of these items?
Sabyasachi?
Not Versace, Subrat?
Prada Kolhapuri chappal.
That is absolutely
Oh, yeah.
right. This is The
course.
Devil Plagiarizes Prada. Yes, unveiled footwear inspired by Kolhapuri chappals. Well done. Nice one on the steel. And your directs. The political right often uses this term for those from the political left who get easily offended. Although heard more often now, the practice of calling someone this term goes back to the Civil War era in the US. In the 1860s Missouri, those who opposed the abolition of slavery were called this name because they preferred white skin. However, the modern iteration appears to be a jab taken from the 1999 film Fight Club. What term? Seconds.
Thin-skinned?
Not thin-skinned. Dhruv?
Is this Pinko?
No. Achyuth?
Snowflake.
What a
Oh.
perfect steal there. Snowflake it is.
Yeah.
Snowflake. White skin and easily offended. Snowflake.
Aye,
Well done.
Hmm.
All right. Bit of pressure there, Subrat now. Who was left permanently scarred by the trauma of a kidnapping and later became a drug addict? A stroke in 1981 caused by a mix of drugs and alcohol left him speechless, nearly blind, and partially paralyzed for the rest of his life. He died on February 5, 2011 at the age of 54. His grandfather, known for his extreme frugality, was partly blamed for his ordeal, as his unwillingness to pay the ransom led to the loss of the boy's ear and a lifetime of trauma inflicted by the Ndrangheta kidnappers when he was just 16.
This is Getty Bhai.
This is Getty, J. Paul Getty III. Well done. 1 to 14, and Achyuth, your two directs. Shortly after the official 1997 recognition of the name Seaborgium for element 106, Jeffrey Winters made an observation for Discover magazine, name-checking a few elements and ending his quip with, but don't forget the zip code. What element, named in line with the informal convention mentioned in the quad earlier for its analog element europium, was listed last in Winters' list and thus making the witty quiz
Americium.
Americium is absolutely right. Europium, Americium, and of course, Seaborg is the only person who could receive mail addressed only in elements. I think the Livermore Laboratory also has an element now named after
Yeah.
it, 116.
Livermore.
So you can add that to this list, Lawrence Berkeley, so on. But yeah, what a brilliant achievement, and an equally brilliant answer there from Achyuth. And here's your chance to go ahead. Among cricketers to have scored centuries in both innings of a test match, which ICC Hall of Famer has the highest aggregate score of 456 across both innings, something Gill stopped only 26 short of, 269 plus 161, 430. This cricketer also holds the unenviable record of being the only one to have featured on the losing side in 350 over World Cup finals played over 3 calendar decades. Seconds. Achyuth, make an answer. Pass you. Dhruv?
I said Jayawardene.
Graham Gooch.
Graham Gooch it is, absolutely. Played in the 1979, 1987 and 1992 finals, the last of which he captained England to, and scored 333 plus 123 against India, I believe.
Thanks to Kiran More.
Thanks to Kiran More. And Gill could have beaten him against England, no less, but stopped short of that. So 7, 11, 14, 14. I need to get my tiebreaker questions in place too, but hopefully we won't come to that. Let's see where we land up. The last two directs for you, Aswath, coming up. Slightly difficult seat there, 4 against 3 twos, but we'll see where that lands. Ashar Ka Ek Din, or One Day in Ashar by Mohan Rakesh, is often regarded as the first modern Hindi play, having debuted in 1958. The play's title means a day in the month of Ashar, which is usually the month that sees the onset of monsoon in North India. Derives its title from the second verse of which Sanskrit work that's also deeply rooted in the monsoon season.
Meghadutam.
Meghadutam by Kalidas is right. And your last direct for the evening, carnival games can be unfair, you know all that. One popular game involves a particular piece of equipment which is mounted at 2 points of contact. This causes it to be more unstable than typical vertical deployments of such equipment, which uses 4 points of contact. What game is this? Seconds.
The rifle used to shoot balloons.
Not a rifle. Subrat?
I'm not getting anything. Pass.
Passing. Dhruv?
Pass.
And Achyuth?
Pass.
Oh, that's 5x as well. This seat isn't the best clearly, but this is the ladder crawl, which is that vertical deployment of such equipment. This is less stable than that, less vertical, 4 points of contact.
TIL.
That's the ladder crawl. Dhruv, your directs.
Is it a horizontal crawl? Okay,
Yeah, it's a horizontal. Yeah. This is a worm's eye view of which architectural wonder? Dhruv?
Can you click it, please?
Five seconds.
Guggenheim Bilbao.
Not the Guggenheim Bilbao this time either. Subrat?
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
And we're leaning towards that. Absolutely. Leaning Tower of Pisa. What an answer.
Well done.
Takes Subrat on to 15. 5 questions to go. This is going to be exciting. Dhruv. This tattoo was a lucky charm in the Old West. The Romans invented it since they believed the shape warded off evil. As it also looks like a crescent moon, it's associated with fertility. In modern tattooing, if it's pointed up, it means to hold good luck. And if it's pointed down, it means to drain off bad luck. What tattoo motif is this, often paired with dice or shamrock?
Horseshoe?
Horseshoe it is. And that brings us to the last 4 questions. Yeah, there you go, the horseshoe tattoo. Last 4 questions to decide the winner of FLQL Season 8 India. Subrat, your directs. In the Da Vinci Code 2006, the riddle goes, in London lies a knight, a pope interred, his labours fruit a holy wrath incurred. You seek the orb that ought be on his tomb. It speaks of rosy flesh and seeded womb. Riddle me this to either name the fruit or the knight in this context. Seconds.
I'll go with Sir Lancelot.
Sorry, what do you go with?
Lancelot. Sir Lancelot.
Lancelot. No, Aswath?
It's like Jesus Christ's child.
No, Dhruv.
Isaac Newton.
Yes, there you go. In
Oh.
London lies a knight, a pope interred. This is actually a reference to Alexander Pope, who spoke at the funeral of Isaac Newton in 1727. Interestingly, when I was reading the Da Vinci Code many years back, I'm proud to say I'd actually solved it before Robert Langdon did.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like,
well
this
done.
is Apple. This is definitely Apple. What are they talking about? So yeah, the missing orb on his tomb is the apple of rosy
Yeah.
flesh and seeded womb.
Didn't think of it
This is
properly. Yeah.
costly. Let's take a look. Subrat, last direct. You know carnival games can be unfair. An example of such a game is Guess Your Age. What two-word technique describes the use of ruses, the Barnum-Forer effect, or just purely random guesses to ascertain information with chilling effects? Need 2 words. And seconds.
Cold estimates.
No, Achyuth.
Cold shooting.
Not cold shooting. Aswath.
Pass.
And Dhruv.
Cold guessing?
No, cold is correct though. This is cold reading, what we needed. And which brings us to the last two questions, both of which will be direct to Achyuth. But interestingly, Subrat is first in the passing order. Could still go, in fact, not any way. It could go one of three ways, because Dhruv could also get both and get to 15. So let's see what happens. Achyuth, the penultimate question of the finals coming your way. In the athletics F1 at 75, the 1960s were represented by which English design engineer who founded Lotus Engineering? Referred as the godfather of F1 aerodynamics, he revolutionized F1 racing by introducing the monocoque chassis, wherein the outer shell bears all the weight and forces, eliminating the need for an internal frame, drastically reducing the weight of the car. Lotus dominated F1 in cars bearing his design stamp through the 1960s and 70s, with drivers like Jim Clark, Graham Hill, and Jochen Rindt. Interestingly, two of these three died in crashes, but never mind. So who is this?
Brabham.
Not Jack Brabham. Subrat?
No, pass.
Aswath?
Let's try McLaren again.
No. And Dhruv?
Pass. Oh God.
Okay, this is Colin Chapman, English design
Chapman.
engineer known for Lotus. And the last question. If Achyuth answers, he ties. We go into a tiebreaker. If not, that pretty much gives Subrat the win. What's the last question? One of the all-time best-selling books in Hindi, which 1949 novel by Dharamveer Bharati tells the story of the romance between blank, a student at Allahabad University, and the other blank, the daughter of his professor. We don't need the blanks, we just need the novel. You can either give us the original title or alternatively, fill in the blanks with the two character names, that title, Poonam Saksena's English translation. So either is fine. Let's go. Second.
Prem.
All right, that gives us a winner. Subrat, you can finish it with a flourish.
Andha Yug.
No,
Oh.
that's a play, Subrat, not a novel. Aswath.
Pass.
And Dhruv.
Gunahon ka devta.
Gunahon ka devta, indeed. That's the quiz. So Dhruv ties for second place. Very well done. Subrat Mohanty is our India track champion.
Superb show, Subrat. Superb.
You retain your title, I presume, for India, Subrat?
Yes.
Yes, well done. Just by the skin of your teeth, should have bitten that apple. But nonetheless, Subrat is our champion.
Terrible luck for Aswath, man. Seriously.
Yeah, Achyuth and Dhruv tying with 14. Aswath getting a bit of a short end there. 5 X's. Tough seat there, finishing on 8. But great job on making the finals, all of you. Thank you all for the game. And once again, please do play Smashdown. I know 2 of you are a team out of these 4. So we'll probably see you there. But till then, good night. Great game all. And see you in yet another FLQL.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for reading, DJ.
Thank you for reading, DJ. Thanks, Team FLQL. Thanks, everyone, so much. See you at Smashdown. Bye.
Okay, we're out of share. So good game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks.